private chat. Where are you? Hello. I don't know if there's anybody there or not. I don't think there is. There we go. Let's just pop that out. There we go. Hello. How are you? You're the only person here. There's 3 people. Well, hello. Sorry about the rough start. This is like the first time I've actually done a stream. So, I don't really know what I'm doing too much. Hopefully you don't mind. There was another? Oh, well. There's probably me and then one other person, yeah. If there's 3 people, or if there was 3 people, I don't know. Probably say, oh, hey, you're not actually doing any gaming, so whatever. I don't know. They get turned off by my noobness. The stream is going to lag a little bit, so I'm not going to necessarily see... Hello. It's going to be laggy, right, basically. Your response, I will see, like, my responses will be delayed because of how the stream works. So, I am just going to be doing the line art right now. Not really anything too interesting, but I don't know. I guess it depends on your definition of interesting. So... probably won't be talking much. With nobody to go off of. It's probably not particularly interesting. Sorry. Jeez. There we go. Well, I guess it depends on your definition of amazing, really. I guess my art is... it's okay. I'm overly hard on myself, but I think every artist really is. You can always mute me. I don't really care. Yeah. That's really big. Yeah, I suppose. I feel I could be better. Like, I mean, compared to other people, there's people I'm better at, people I'm not as good as. But, you know, I feel like I could still use improvement. But then, you know, you could always argue that, you know, we're all noobs. And that there's no true way to master art. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I've been drawing for probably pretty much all my life, so I hope I'm good at it. I've always had a bit of, you know, nagging amount of doubt. Oh, thank you. Ryu, Einke, and Brandy Cook. Both. Or Crook. Sorry, Crook. Thank you both. Thank you both. But, you know, I've only now started doing, like, art for other people, because I've only now started taking myself really seriously, and also just, David? Oh, your username says it's Brandy, so sorry. But yeah. I've only now started taking myself seriously, so I've only now started doing it for other people, among other things. Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, you can you can change your username through the Google side of things. You can choose to, like, I'm under like just a pseudonym. I'm not using my real name for YouTube, so you can change it. You basically have to tell Google Plus to go away. And yeah, I can see. I can't see if I have any likes or not because I just have stream chat up, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, Facebook makes it difficult. Yeah, you can just change your first and last name in Google Plus. But you can tell YouTube to ignore Google Plus and just use a username instead. Which is how I did it. Sorry I'm not talking much. I don't really know what to say. So Apparently they like my voice. You're mean. Go away. Oh, I haven't quite figured out what I'm doing for commissions as of yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. But basically, I'm going to be going for more of a per hour type rate rather than like anything straight. So, like, I mean, you can always ask me either way. I will maybe put up my my email into the stream a little later, into the stream description, and then you can always send me an email if you're interested. But it would basically be about like $15 Canadian per hour. So depending on how long it takes, depends on how expensive it would be, obviously. But you know, if it's something simple, then obviously it'll be really, really fast. It'll be done very quickly. Something like this, a rough sheet where you've got, you know, multiple positions and stuff like that, it takes a little bit longer than, say, even just like a quick sketch. Like, I think the sketch of these two poses, which are this one and the front view here, these were done in probably about a half an hour to 45 minutes, so it really doesn't take very long at all. So yeah. When you hear the clicking sound, that's just me hitting Control Z. So, 'cause I don't like putting down a line unless it's like, you know, how I want it to look. So rather than erase and erase and erase, I just undo, undo, undo. You know. So. It does, really. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but not to a fault, I would say. It just has to be, like, you know, about what I was thinking. Which, like, I mean, depending on the line, can be a little bit more tricky than others, but squirrel feet are a little bit awkward. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I do roughs. I'll be doing rough sketches too for those who want it. So but I'm gonna say this right now: squirrel feet are awkward things. I really don't know what to say. I'm just like... Might be easier if I had somebody to talk to constantly, but well, I guess that's something I'll have to think about in the future. I don't really... I'm not particularly too great at holding a conversation all on my own, so should be interesting. We eventually plan to do gaming too, but we'll see about that. It might not be as hard. Oh, yeah, people like to do the paws like a dog, but, like, I mean, squirrel feet, the way they're built is to climb things, so if they had like, cat or dog claws, they wouldn't be as effective. They're kind of more like tiny little hands. So, not too great when you have somebody to talk to. What do you mean? What do you mean by it's not too great when you have somebody to talk to? In short, I would say it's $15 per hour to do pictures. So it depends on how long it would take to do it. Right now, I'm figuring out exactly how long it takes to do a particular style of image, and then I'll be able to give estimates, but it's basically a case-by-case basis. I mean, sometimes you'll trail off. Well, yeah. I do trail off sometimes, but that's like... That's just something that I have an issue with in everyday conversation in general, so... And, yeah, once again, just the way that stream chats work, my responses will be pretty delayed, so... Because by the time you see it, and then I see your chat, it's, like, like an entire minute has gone by, so... For commissions, I will be putting up my official commission email into the stream chat later, so you can check it out later even after this is done. I'm not entirely too sure how long I'm gonna go, but I guess it depends on how long I have content to work with, I suppose. At this rate, it's not gonna take me very long. I thought it would take me longer, but it's not going to, it seems. So, we'll see, I guess. And if you're wondering about the music, that is in the description below. So, you can see where I get the music. They have actually a little clause on their little website or on the YouTube page that you can use it for non-profit reasons, and that's what I'm doing. It's more of advertisement than for profit. Which I don't know if you can consider profit. I don't know. Might be a bit of a gray area, but I don't think they'll mind. Their music is pretty good. Oh. No? Disappointing news, Shadow. Or Kit, I should say. Disappointing news. I guess we'll just have to make do without. He seems to be pretty busy lately, so... There we go. That's better. The bigger lines can be harder to do. I need to get a better tablet. I just have a small bamboo tablet at this point, and it's not very big at all. So I have issues doing some of the bigger chunks of line just because of how small the tablet is. It's also kind of a strain because of how much I'm using my wrist rather than my whole arm, so I'm gonna replace it eventually, but right now, don't really have the money for it at the moment. But that will come eventually. Come on. There we go, that's a little bit better. Okay, that wasn't on that side. Toss link. Okay. Yeah, we could. If you want to, Kit. You can go ahead and maybe after I'm done streaming. But yeah, we could still do that if you want. You should toss the link at Lee too. I don't know if he's awake right now, but he might be interested in it. Or even just go and get him. I don't know. Okay, that isn't quite turning out how I want it to. Let's see. There we go. That's a bit better. And if you're wondering, out of curiosity, like if you're wondering what program I'm using, it's Paint Tool Sai. It's a Japanese program that I randomly found one day, and it works really nice. I really like it. It works really well with line art and stuff like that. So I'm one of the oddballs who doesn't use Photoshop, because everybody uses Photoshop. So well, there's a lot of programs that are just for painting, but you might be thinking of Kirita, which is actually open source. Sai. Yeah, it's a pretty lightweight program, and well, not lightweight, but what am I looking for here? It's cheap. It's cheap and it does the job. It's really good with line art. It's really good with you know, flat colors and basic shading. It's not so great for painting, but you don't really use it for painting. You do it for, like, you know, other types of art, like line art and flat colors and stuff like that. If you're looking to do like a watercolor painting or something like that, you're better off using Photoshop or something similar, just because yeah, it doesn't work the same way. And to be perfectly honest, the watercolor brush in this particular one is not very good. It's great for doing, like, you know, washes, but other than that, I wouldn't use it for anything else. But it works just fine if you're doing line art. Photoshop is really hard to learn how to use, which is what the biggest issue is. It's got a huge learning curve, and it's expensive too. So, like, I mean, it's $50 a month. Mind you, that's like the entire Adobe Photoshop suite. So if you're also using like After Effects and the Adobe Premiere and stuff like that, then it's probably not such of a big an issue. But if all you're using is Photoshop, then I think even like the cheapest version is still quite a bit each month. So it's expensive and it's hard to learn how to use. It's what a lot of people will say the professionals use, but depends on what you consider professional, I suppose. Almost forgot about this. So I like showing the eyebrows through the hair, because it lets you see the expressions versus covering it up. Yeah, it's paint tool size is much better for drawing in general. Like I said, also like line art and stuff. It's much better for the drawing itself. And there's very few freeware programs that quite reach the versatility and usefulness of Paint Tool SAI, in my opinion. Like, I have a ton of programs downloaded that I've tried out. Kirta is one of those ones. That one's an open source one, and if you want something that has the power of Photoshop, but you don't want to pay for Photoshop or don't like it, it might be worth checking out. Because it does have a large library of like brushes and stuff like that. But in general, I just prefer SAI because it is nifty. And supposedly there's a Paint Tool SAI 2 that I want to check out eventually, but like Paint Tool SAI is like, I think about $80 after you convert everything to yen. So it might be even cheaper depending on where you live, but it's like only 6,000, 7,000 yen, something like that. So, and like, I mean, most Japanese illustrators, this is what they use. They use SAI. So it's good for them, it's good for me. So and yeah, when it comes to Photoshop, the only thing I use Photoshop for is image macros. And collages. Mainly because the way they compress their pictures is a lot better than anything else. But I only use it for dumb things. I don't use it for illustrating, I don't use it for anything like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I prefer more lightweight applications too, because then you're not getting bogged down. I always have a problem with Photoshop lagging everything. I don't know if that's just me and my computer or what I'm doing with it, but yeah, I've never had too much luck with Photoshop. Like I said, I usually only use it to resize stuff or write huge blurbs on images and stuff like that. I use it as a word processing program. Sorry if there's times where I'm just gonna, like, stop talking. I keep saying it, but I'm not very good at holding conversations. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Photoshop probably is very well optimized. You totally do. It's a RAM thing. It really is a RAM thing. The more RAM you have, the better. I don't really have a whole lot of RAM, so it's probably why I have issues with it. But yeah, in my opinion, it's a memory leak. It just leaks memory like crazy, so it just hogs up your CPU. Yep, fluffy ears. Because fluffy ears are fun. It's a character reference sheet, so... Oh, thank you, thank you. It probably has a memory leak, yeah. I've always had issues where it just eats more and more RAM and more CPU, so that's what I assume it is. I might be just talking out of my butt, though. Oh, yeah, Photoshop needs a diaper, yeah, I suppose. It is an awful leaky mess. But it's all down to user preference. If you prefer Photoshop, you prefer Photoshop. If you prefer more lightweight programs like Psy, then you prefer more lightweight programs like Psy. And that's what I prefer, so that's what I draw in. You know, when it comes to Photoshop, like, I mean, the code has been passed through probably so many hands at this point, they probably don't know where it is if they're even aware that it exists. Because, like, I mean, big corporations like that, they're losing people left, right, and center. Is that the snack being made? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm drawing something, if that's what you mean. I'm doing a character reference sheet for a friend of mine. It's his persona. Oh, okay, yeah. Then yes, it's snack. I was highly confused. little commie snack. Well, considering it's a squirrel, I would say it's a very light snack. Right, Kit? Yep. Pretty much. And you don't even eat that much, so, you know. You wouldn't make a very good meal, that's for sure. Oops. Come on. This line doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Oops. Accidentally hit the wrong button. I hear a dog going crazy. Ha. I don't know. Kit wants to order pizza again, so he might be, or she might be, you know, doing just fine and fattening herself up just fine on her own. Way too much pizza. Yeah, we've already had pizza a couple times this month, so we've been really bad. But that's okay. Sometimes you gotta be bad. Yeah, last time it was free. I still feel sorry for the driver, though. But I guess he walked away first, so whatever. Did you just bark at Lee? Kit? Pizza pizza? Yeah, pizza pizza. Yeah, last time we ordered pizza pizza, they were late, so we got it free. I think it was a Ninja Turtles quote, never pay for late pizza. Never pay full price for late pizza. Pizza? Yeah, I've had a few issues with them in the past. Once they once actually completely forgot an item from my order, and he had to run back to the pizza place to get it. It was pretty bad. More free pizza and food as well. Yeah. Yeah, I've had a couple of my orders done wrong through Pizza too. I've had issues where they've given us the wrong sauce, put on the wrong cheese. Hi, baby. How are you, Butters? How are you, puppy?
Yeah, he wanted to come see you.
Okay. They can probably hear you now. That's probably just a bunch of your friends, eh?
Yeah, I was sharing the links with them. I was going to share the link in maybe for chat as well.
Okay. Hi, puppy. You're being a brat.
Watch it, Butters. Don't turn off the computer.
Yeah, be careful about that. I should do a backup save. I'm thinking about it. Well, I'm thinking about it. Oh, I've only been going for an hour. It's not that big of a loss. I can hear you now.
Yeah. Come on, Butters.
You should go.
Come on, Butters. No, don't. Go on.
Distractions. Get some thin crust tomato and spinach feta shit. I once actually ordered a spinach and cheese and feta cheese pizza because I actually like spinach and feta, and they didn't give us any spinach. It was just straight feta cheese. Like, I mean, I guess they must have like ran out of spinach or something, but how do you mess that up? There's 2 items on the pizza. They didn't call us or anything like that, so I don't know what happened there. Oh, and we once got pizza. I think it was from some other pizza joint, but we ordered a pepperoni pizza and they gave us like 2 pepperoni slices on the entire pizza. It was ridiculous. You gotta love fast food joints. They're so full of fail. If I go suddenly silent, it's either because I'm concentrating or I have no idea what else to say. It's all these little lines. Kids' feet are serious business. you hear the bumping and thumping in the background, that's my dog running around the hallway. Because he does that. I am nearing completion of the line art. At least for this section of the image. I might do a back view at some point, but I don't know if it's necessary for this particular character because it doesn't really have any back markings, so we should play Starbound. I guess so, maybe. That would be Sunday either way, probably. Because Fridays are going to be art streams, and then Sundays will actually be gaming streams. So I don't know how. I'm going to probably have to build up my endurance to do gaming streams, so it probably won't be very long streams to start with anyway. But eventually they might be like an all-day thing, I'm not sure. Then again, like with some people, they don't really like long streams, so it's really hard to decide how to do gaming streams. I know some people that just like to put on footage of people doing whatever and just listen to them talk about whatever, but for other people they don't like to sit around for longer than an hour. So I think that's actually probably the majority case is that most people will only stick around for about an hour before they, an hour to about 45 minutes there in that range before they get bored and go away. I don't even own Path of Exile kit, so unless it's a free game, but still. Because my computer doesn't have a lot of RAM, and recording does take up quite a bit of RAM, it's debatable what I can even do with my computer just at this point, so. Well, that doesn't mean anything when you're recording stuff, Shadow. Kit. When you start recording videos, it becomes a little bit different. 8 gigs is usually, I think I have 8 gigabytes of RAM or whatever, and that's probably not enough to do most modern games. So therein lies the challenge, right? It's pretty good, but like I said, when you start recording videos or streaming them, it becomes a little bit more tricky. Just because, like, I mean, depends on the game. It can use up a lot of RAM. Like, for instance, Minecraft, for instance, you wouldn't think it requires so much RAM, but it does. Oh, is food already here, or are you ordering it? It is. Minecraft is terrible for resources. At least it doesn't seem to have too big of a memory problem. So, like, it doesn't leak memory. It just constantly hogs everything you have. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it did have a leak. Minecraft did have a memory leak at one point. But they've, for the most part, fixed it. Oh, okay. You go make sandwiches. You make as many sandwiches as you want. Well, maybe don't, because then we're gonna run out of bread, but you know what I mean. By AC, do you mean Assassin's Creed? Because if it's Assassin's Creed, I don't own any Assassin's Creed for the computer, so I can't personally compare.
What 5 at the beginning of the month?
Yes, but if we make 500 sandwiches, we won't have enough bread. Doesn't matter how many loaves I've bought.
Well, then I'll just go buy 10 more.
We probably need to, actually. How many more loaves do we have left?
Probably big and this. I think.
Okay. So, yeah. That shopping trip I was going to get you to do today, we'll have to get you to do tomorrow, and you'll have to get bread and milk.
You plan on having me do it yesterday, too.
Yeah, it keeps getting put off. Domestic conversations. Oh,
Hi, people! Hi,
Thanks.
people! I guess I now.
Yep. And all the noise as my door gets closed. One of the reasons why I like Paint Tool size so much is it's got this stabilizer feature. So despite the fact that I have such a tiny little tablet, I can still get my really smooth lines because it stabilizes any shakiness that I have. And when you're doing bigger lines, you're going to naturally have shakiness until you build up a ton of wrist strength, and I don't have wrist strength. So I didn't used to draw every day, now I do, but it's still something that you have to work up and build, and I just don't have it. So Paint Tool Psi comes in handy because it gives me the ability to stabilize the lines I'm drawing when I'm drawing line art. I'll turn it off when I start coloring, but and I'm almost done actually. Just do a quick once over, make sure everything's done. Haven't missed anything. Color in these claws. One's a little bit big. Oh yeah. Yeah, with a lot of the more creative skills, if you don't do it often, or even like, you know, you stop doing it for a long time, you do lose those skills. Like, I mean, you'll still be better than what you were, like, say, you know, 5 years after starting, or even like, you know, when you first start, but you still lose a bit of that skill. I used to write a ton too, and I'm probably terrible at it now because I don't do it anymore. It's not something I'm really interested in. I used to do it a ton because I used to write fan fiction, but don't anymore. Well, squirrels have claws. How else are they gonna climb trees? Was it really bad? I had a PC once that was a Pentium 2. This is what I used to play Minecraft on. It was a Pentium 2 or Pentium 3, so it had really terrible processor. It had like 2 gigabytes of RAM, in a motherboard from like 1990 or something like that. I swear it was like an early 2000 computer. It was really terrible, and I used to play Minecraft of all things on it. It was so bad that I would have to have the fog all the way down all the way, and I wouldn't be able to see anything. And it would still lag terribly. It was horrible. Eventually it just lost the will to live, and the only thing I could get to run on it anymore was Linux. Frankenstein builds. Yeah. Gotta love Frankenstein computers. Sometimes they're good, but when they're bad, they're really bad. What I'm using now is like a store-bought model with an upgraded graphics card and a new power supply. Oh yeah, 512 megs of RAM. That's awful. You know what? This computer I was talking about earlier, it used to have a 160 gigabyte hard drive, about thereabouts. And then we had to do some sort of repair on the computer, and when we opened it up, that hard drive just died because it was so old. It was like probably like a good 10 years when I had it, 10 years old when I had it. And then all we had was this little tiny, like, I think 80 gigabyte backup drive that we were able to put in it. So it was terrible, and I still used that computer for like a year or two after that happened. After that, I upgraded to my current computer, and it has a 1.5 terabyte drive. IDE cables. Gotta love old archaic technology. Oh, this is something I missed. Gonna add the eyebrows. I like putting the eyebrows over the hair because then you can still see what the character's expressing. And I kind of like the look of it anyway. Has a certain stylized look to it. Like playing Space Invaders, that's really bad. That would not have been fun. Yep, I think that's good. And just turn that off. There we go, line art. And what I might do, I guess I didn't have any there. Yeah, I had an old my first smartphone was actually an iPhone. So, yeah. I avoided getting a smartphone for years. I completely skipped the flip phone era. Like, I mean, I could have had a flip phone, but I skipped it because I didn't want a cell phone. And then when I moved out, I got a cell phone then because then I needed a phone and I didn't want a landline. Yeah, that's really bad. You just gotta love how technology has boomed over the years. What we thought was once, you know, could never be surpassed has been surpassed and then some. Fix that up a bit. Alright. I think that's good. I'm gonna start adding color now. There's already like a kind of a basic one here where I'm gonna get my palette from, because we already went over the colors ahead of time already. Alright, there we go. I got my current cell phone because my iPhone died and deleted all my music, and it also freaked out a bit. It was kind of weird. Just everything that happened to it was just strange. It actually, my iPhone, when it died, it freaked out, and it, rapidly spazzed out. Here I go, coloring over top of the liner. There we go. That's better. What I can do. Make it a bit easier on myself. Yeah, the lesson to be learned is don't go with iPhone because they murder themselves. They freak out and delete everything. There we go. Yeah, I've had issues with Apple products. Oh, come on. Go away, selection. There we go. There we go. That's better. Yeah, Apple, after the first time using Apple, it was like, okay. They, why did I get, you know, swayed by this meme of a product? It wasn't very intuitive. It was hard to figure out how to change some of the settings in some cases, and it was just in general hard to use and uncooperative at best. Are there current iPhones really the same as 2012? If that's true, that's really, really ridiculous. I use Samsungs. But I don't know if that's good or bad. All I know is my phone works and it does what it needs to do. And I can play games on it sometimes. Not that I really use it for that purpose anyway. It's what I have dedicated Nintendo hardware for. More like this. Dude, Pokemon Go, it's already last year. It's literally last year. It's already lame. Nobody who cares actually plays Pokemon Go anymore. I have at least washed my hands of it because, just because of, like, you know, all the really stupid stuff that they've done with that app. They could have had a gold mine, and they did away with, like, the main aspect of Pokemon, which is, like, you know, catching and battling other people. And also, like, you know, the turn-based battle system, which would have been so easy to implement, and they didn't. So, I don't know why they chose to go that way, but LG, Samsung, LG, Motorola, LG, Samsung, Motorola, LG. Oh yeah. Pokemon Go can track you wherever you are, and that's actually the whole point of the app, is to track you so that you can... It needs to know where you are so it can figure out what kind of Pokemon to pop up. But, like, I mean, with the issues with, you know, the tracking system never working correctly, and with them removing hotspots and not allowing you to add hotspots, and the fact that if you don't live in a big city, you do not get Pokemon at all. If you live out in the countryside, you're maybe lucky if you get a Rattata once or twice. You have to live in heavily populated areas for it to even work properly. So... And it's not even like, you know, the Pokemon you get are not even based necessarily off a region aside from the region exclusives. Like, if you're by a body of water, you're not necessarily getting water Pokemon. You might get some water Pokemon, but it doesn't always track it that way. It's really weird the way it works, but... Just being by water isn't going to guarantee that you get water Pokemon, basically. Or you have to be next to the ocean to do it. And, like, I mean, the way that they're encouraging the way the gameplay is, so they're encouraging you to basically just sit put, use one of those, use lures and stuff like that, just sit on a hot spot and let you catch Pokemon that way, and then not go outside, which is not what the original advertisement was necessarily about anyway. So basically, in short, Pokemon Go just ain't all that. Yep. I forgot to get the hair color. There you go. Yeah, their customization features are terrible. Oh yeah. It totally is. It's awful. I don't really like the whole idea of Pokemon Go anyway. Because like I said, like, I mean, they could have gone with a turn-based system and allowed people to play with each other and have a team of 6 and stuff like that, and it would have been bigger than what it is even now. Or bigger than what it ever was, but because of how terrible the gameplay is, how unfun it actually really is when it comes down to it, it was never going to take off any more than what it was. They had a gold mine, and then their stupidity lost them the gold mine. Like, I mean, the game's still doing well, but it could have done so much better. Are you taking any other commissions in? I am. I don't really have like a price list or anything like that right now. And I don't have my email up on the stream yet, but I will have the information on the stream description in a little bit. I could probably go change it right now, actually. You'd have to refresh to see it, but let me just change this right now. know if that's gonna change it or not. It might be. Stream health? Sorry if you're having issues with the stream. I don't know what it's trying to tell me. It might be just laggy because of my internet. Our internet is not necessarily the greatest in the world, but don't know if that saved it or all changes have been saved. That might have saved it. I don't know. You'd have to refresh and see if that changed. I'm not sure. It changed? Okay. I haven't posted it on for Affinity yet. I will. My username is pretty much the same wherever I go. So if you're curious, you can check out my Fur Affinity. I have one. It's same username. I'm also on Ink Bunny, though I haven't really gotten anything on either of those. Why am I coloring this color? It changed right away? Okay. But yeah, I'm on DeviantArt, Ink Bunny, Fur Affinity, all those websites. There isn't necessarily a whole lot on any of them, because I'm really bad at posting, but the information will be up there later. Yeah, you can add me. Chowder. Technically, the name is pronounced Codair, but Chowder is the hilarious nickname, I suppose. I'll have to make a new... Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm on Ink Bunny, too. Chowder, because, I'm guessing the Y is about Chowder, or is it about Fur Affinity? I'm not sure. But if it's about Chowder, the whole reason why it's the funny nickname is because Kit can't pronounce it right. He called it Chowder once, and we're just like, okay, whatever. Well, accounts get lost all the time, right? But yeah, if you want to check me out on an art website, you can just remember the username and it will be there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a Freudian slip because the way it looks, and I think he was hungry. Or she was hungry, whichever. Kit was hungry. Kit was hungry, and Kit, called the username Chowder. Though, I don't go by Chowder or Codair in real life. I go by somebody else. And typically most people just call me by what my nickname in real life, which is Kira, so it's how I sign my name. Codair just happens to be a really unique username, so I use it for everything. Versus Kira, which would be like, you know, full of Death Note fans, I would assume. Yes. Kira, yes. Yes. Yeah, Kit used to talk a lot worse than what Major Kira Nairsi? I don't know who that is. Sorry. Is it, Legend of the Galactic Heroes thing? Or am I completely wrong? Heresy. Oh, Deep Space Nine. Oh, no, no, no. No. No, it's an anime thing. Because I'm a total weeb. I don't even know why I'm filling this in this way. Post it on Twitter. Twitter. Okay, you post stuff to Twitter. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Oh, yeah. Well, honestly, like, I mean, I'm a Star Trek fan, so I should have known better. But I kind of have, like, anime blinders on. So I think everything is about anime or video games. But yeah, it all depends, right? The way this is drawing, or the way this is turning out, kind of reminds me of like having chocolate sauce poured on the head. Oh yeah, probably. It sounds it looks vaguely kind of Japanese-ish. Mine did come from an anime, but not Death Note as everybody thinks it is. Like Kira, I mean, not Codair. Codair's original. Codair's the name of one of my original characters from something that has nothing to do with anime. Chocolate Squirrel. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if I repeat a line, I do read out the comments a little bit. So, if you're wondering, I am reading the comments a little bit out loud. Oops. Coloring outside of the lines. Oh, really? Don't you just hate it when books disappear? I actually have been trying to remember this one particular book for like ages, and I still can't remember what it's called or what it, like, beyond what happens in the book. I don't remember anything about it at all. Fix that up a bit. Promise of the Wills. Oh, that's cool. I used to read from the library a lot, so I never owned half of the books I used to read when I was a kid. Like, I would go to the actual, like, you know, public library, not just the school library. So that's where it comes down to the problems. Like, I remember reading a good book, like a good teen book in in the library or taking it out from the library and then never remembering what it was called because of just not actually owning it. So, but you know, stuff happens. I did manage to remember at least one book series I used to read as a kid, so there's at least small victories in life. Books are nice. Books are fun. I don't read nearly often enough. Like, I have books. I have ways to read books. I just don't do it enough. Oh yeah. Sometimes finding old books is really fun. And then like you find out like, you know, like even like the only way to get them is to find used copies because they're out of print or whatever. Oh, I have no mouth and I must scream. I have the game that's based off that book. Like the old school point and click horror game. I think it was made by Sierra Studios actually. It's really cool. Oh, yeah. Well, I hate to break it to you, Kit, but maybe you need to check your own spelling. Well, yeah, I suppose everybody has it. It's one of those, you know, must play horror games. That's recommended on every, like, you know, recommended horror game list in the universe. Are top 10 obscure horror games. I like horror games. I love horror games. It's not why I own that particular game, though. I got it in a pack with a bunch of other point-and-click adventure games, because I'm also fond of point-and-click adventure games. So, yeah. And I didn't even get that particular pack. Like I said, I think it's a Sierra game. I'm not entirely too sure. It might not be. But I got like a whole bunch of point-and-click adventure games when I bought the Sierra game pack a while back. And I bought it for only one game. And that game is Caesar 3, which is a real-time strategy game. Because I used to play all the time. Wow. It was a Sierra game. And Five Nights at Freddy's is kind of like, you know, it has good atmosphere, but yeah, the jump scares are just jarring and awkward and kind of annoying. And that little noise was probably my dog slamming into the door on the other side of my room. Because every time that door gets slammed open, it knocks my closet door open a bit. It's kind of weird. Night of the Tentacles. Oh, really? I've never heard of that game. My roommate just yelled sorry at me. Yes, it's all your fault. Stop slamming the door open. He is a thick-skulled doggy. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with too many LucasArts games. Mainly because, like, I mean, the most games that my parents had were, like, point-and-click adventure, or not point-and-click adventure, sorry. There were strategy games. There were, like, RTSs and stuff like that. Like, we had all the Command and Conquers, and we had the original Warcrafts, Caesars, all the Caesar games. One of my favorites as a kid was Heroes 3. We used to play it together and stuff like that. It was really fun. You gotta go. If you gotta go, you gotta go. I'm probably going to be wrapping up pretty soon too. I think 2 hours is probably going to be about my limit. So I'll probably be stopping it just shortly after 8. So. And really all I'm doing right now is just coloring in line art, so. It's not even the, you know, the fun part. The fun part's over. Sort of. I'll be posting the finished product on For Affinity if you're interested. So it will be there for all to see. So even if you can't say for the rest, it's fine. Bit of a joke there, but I guess so. I cannot color within the lines. Why am I so terrible at coloring in the lines? I see. It completely flew over my head. Maybe that's just because I know too many Canadian stereotypes that would totally do something like that. Yep. Well, though here in Saskatchewan I don't know if you're from Saskatchewan too, but I've heard people just say LBs for alcohol stores and stuff like that. Because liquor board. But, yeah, I don't know. And they'd go and pick up a 6-pack of pill. Or a 2-6 of pill. There we go. So, yeah. A and all that. Feck off and go get me some smokes from the Riz. Oh yeah, I guess so. Don't forget to wear your bunny hug when you go. It's cold out there. The music is nice. I don't know if you can hear the music or not. I hope you can. It's nice music. Oh, yeah. Good luck. Good luck. I'm kind of glad I am stuck out in Saskatchewan where conservatives are more common, because just the entire left has gone insane. They've become so radicalized that they don't even realize how ridiculous they've become. But, you know, opinions, I guess. I consider myself more on the, you know, central, slightly, ever so slightly leaning to the more right side, but... I still prefer social programs to an extent. Yeah. He was a mistake. Trudeau was a mistake. He is ridiculous and he contradicts himself all the time. It's kind of scary to, like, you know, actually talk about politics in a serious way, because you just never know who's going to, like, you know, attempt to, like, beat down your door and call you a Nazi these days, which is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, yeah, they have been recently, like, in the States, it's, like, really terrible. There are people who, like, they've been, like, the left has been debating, is it okay to punch a Nazi? They've been having, like, that kind of, like, debate about, basically they're trying to justify punching out people, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, nobody, like, even, like, Nazis necessarily, you shouldn't hit Nazis. They should be, you know, taken to court and paid, make them pay for their war crimes in a more official way. Like, you should never punch somebody out just because, especially if the only issue is that you, like, you know, if your ideas don't match up. It's ridiculous. What do you want? Dog is going crazy again. He is shaking my computer screen. Thin walls and all that. Yeah, if, I think the last time there was any, like, you know, uprise or, like, any collection of neo-Nazis that got together, I think they were actually chased out of town. So, like, I mean, there are no real Nazis today. Or there are, but they're not a problem. They're not something we need to worry about. But they keep calling Trump a Nazi and stuff like that. It's like, whatever. Delusional people. I don't really necessarily want to talk politics, though. It's frustrating and upsetting. Okay. So all the way since back there. Okay. How about them Maple Leafs? Are you talking about hockey? I'm a terrible Canadian. I don't follow hockey. Are we just being stereotypes again? But yeah, I don't really follow any kind of sport. I don't like sports. I follow anime. There are certain animes I can talk anybody's ears about, but tennis? I wasn't sure. If it's tennis, so I'm even less interested. Tennis is a boring game. It's just two people hitting the ball back and forth, whatever. I don't understand sports. But yeah, again, my interests pretty much lie in, I guess, art, video games, and anime. And that's about it. Yeah, so Butters is barking at somebody outside, I think. I think he probably caught sight of somebody. Still seeing somebody outside. I think he sees somebody probably walking their dog. There's a lot of dogs in the neighborhood, and he likes to bark at the other dogs. He's annoying, but... Huh. No, I know you were being sarcastic. I know you were probably talking about the Maple Leafs, but... You know. About hockey. I think it's hockey anyway. Maple Leafs is hockey. Yeah, because I think our baseball team is like, what, the Blue Jays or something? I don't freaking know. It's like the Toronto Maple Leafs, isn't it? No, he probably did actually just seen another dog. He's actually pretty good for barking at things. He doesn't bark at things like just random objects. He only barks at people and other dogs. He won't bark at the cats across the way. He doesn't bark at random objects hitting the house. He only barks if he sees another dog or a cat or a person. So he's actually a really good boy, but sometimes he's annoying. But he's a cutie pie. Yeah, our dog is like a mixed mutt, so... So he's kind of a... interesting breed, but... He's a sweetheart. And he's very good at barking at other people, so... Don't ever have to worry about people, like, you know, thinking they can push us over. Which is nice. This city doesn't exactly have the best reputation in the world, so it all works out in the end. Boxer Lab Husk. Yep. The best Boxer Husk Lub. Yeah, but like I said, he does only bark at things he actually sees. Unless he hears the door, then he'll bark at the door. But he won't actually bark unless he sees something to bark at, which is pretty nice. That might just come from us having to, like, live in an apartment, but... the issue we have with Butters is he has separation anxiety super bad. And if he's left alone, then he just howls and howls and howls. But if he's got somebody with him and he's home with somebody else, then he's usually fine. animal crimes or just crime in general? Because Regina's not necessarily a great place to live, but it's home. It is home. And home is home. I don't think I'd miss it if I left, though. No, he, like, kinda, like, cries and whines a bit. Oh, does it? Yeah, I guess Regina does. But, like, I mean, there's, like, a lot of really just... It's mostly, like, just uneducated people that have no idea how to properly take care of an animal. And probably also, I wouldn't be surprised if there's, like, dog fighting rings and stuff like that in town, to be perfectly honest. But, we also get some pretty extreme cases, too. I think there was, like, not just in Regina, but in Saskatchewan in general, because I think there was recently a case where some woman was, she had, like, 200 sick and abused cats in her house or something like that. It was really crazy. And then she fled to, like, Cuba or something. And also, like, I mean, when Butters howls, it's more of like a sad, like, low, oh, kind of noise. It's really kind of hilarious when you hear it. It's just like this really low, very quiet thing. Fucking edumacations. Nope, there's no need for edumacations at all. Don't need literacy rates. Who needs those? I think Saskatchewan in general is, like, really bad for, like, high school graduation, too. Yeah, he trails, too. Like, he does this whole, like, you know, type thing. It's hilarious. He's a silly dog. No, he has a sad, pathetic little low howl. It's like the saddest thing ever. It's just so pathetic, his howl. If I catch him doing it again, I will record it and I will post it to YouTube's. It is absolutely hilarious. It's just the most pathetic thing I've ever heard a dog do. But he is a big sucky baby, so that might have something to do with it. And he is technically still a puppy, so he might get a bigger howl when he grows up, but I'm not too sure. Well, I'm probably going to wrap this up pretty soon. But, like I said, I will post the finished product up on Furfinity when I'm done. It might take me probably another hour or so to finish this off, finally. Maybe a little bit more than that, even. And I probably will just stop for the day, but I will get it done probably by tomorrow sometime. I'm gonna at least finish off this section here. And then zoom out. So that all can see. And then I will call it a night. And go play some video games or something. Because video games are fun. It's a tail. It's a floofer tail. There's just one more shade left to do on this one. Which is basically just the top part. Basically just, oops, that's the wrong layer. Herpa-derpa-doo. Oops. Yikes. Yeah, I really, like, one thing that really irks me big time is animal cruelty and just, you know, not taking care of your animals correctly, because there's so many cases where if the owner was educated, they would, you know, there's chances that they would actually do it properly, and it's just so many people, like, especially with cats. Cats are really bad because most people are like, oh, well, the cat can, like, you know, hunt for its own food, and we don't need to look after it. Just put it outside, it'll take care of itself. And then, like, I mean, the cats, like, outdoor cats that you let outside, they have a average lifespan of only 3 years. So most cats die before they ever reach, like, adulthood. Just because of how, like, I mean, there are some of the few outdoor cats that make it to really old age. I had one that lasted to about 12 years, but for average lifespans, they're really not good for outdoor cats. But, alright, I think we got it. What do you think, Kit? Let me just double check to make sure I got all the markings. Yep, that's it. So what do you think, Kit? Do you like it? That side's done. And now my hands are cranky. I don't even know if Kit's still here. But I think that's all I'm going to be doing for tonight. Awesome. Awesome. This is all I'm going to be doing for today. I'll be streaming something again next week. Same time, 6 o'clock, starting Friday night. Central Standard Time, obviously, like Regina time, 6 o'clock. And probably go for 2 hours again that night. But for now, I think that's everything, so I'm going to... Oh yeah, I forgot Pretty Blue Eyes. Hang on. Let me just rectify that mistake super duper quick. I'll even give you a bit of shading. There we go. That's a little bit more like it. Not a problem. Thanks for watching me. Honestly. I didn't think anybody would actually enjoy listening to me blabber on and draw things, so. But thanks everybody for watching, those who are here. And once again, I will be streaming again for art streams anyway. Next Friday, again at 6 p.m. for 2 hours again next Friday. I will be probably doing some gaming on Sunday. I don't know when, but we shall see then. And then for now, I'm just going to sign off, and I will see you next time. So, goodbye everyone. See you next time. I don't know how to say this or say goodbye, so. But, yeah. Have a good night, everyone.